Shemar, welcome to Cincinnati. Let's start with the really hard-hitting questions that I'm sure you've been asked. Can you tell us about your chain?
You're funny. I like you. My dad made his logo for me back in high school. So he's like, "What's your favorite animal?" I like a gorilla. He was like, "Okay." So he took that and made his eyebrows 2 S's for Shemar Stewart. And then there's an English rapper go by Central C. He have a reversible chain, so I took his idea and made it reversible. So the whole thing's reversible.
Man, that's nice. So how long have you had it? Since high school? Or?
No. I got it done for the draft. Shout out to Al. Got it done. But it's big one with this one.
So you said your dad had a logo for you when you were a kid, or he asked, like, how did that?
Like him and his friends made it for me.
Okay.
Like he knew a couple people that know how to make logos.
What about the animal resonated with you?
Oh, just symbolizes strength, sometimes violence, and I feel like that represents my game on the field.
And physical.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, what animal was that?
Gorilla.
Wear it all the time?
Oh no, I mean I can't wear it all the time.
Has it been off today? I mean, has it been off? You've had it since the draft, right?
Oh no, it hasn't been off since I put it on.
I know you alluded to it a little, Shemar, in the press conference, but the kind of sacrifices your family has made for you and where you came from, obviously that it means a lot to you, and to get to this point, can you go over that a little bit more and expand on that?
My mom I went to a private school that my family couldn't afford, but my mom said, if that's what you want to do, I'm gonna help you chase your dream. She picked up another job, started working 2 jobs. There was times I come home and I don't see her, just so I could make it through school. So, shout out to Mom. She did a big one for me, man.
Did that teach you a lot about discipline, accountability, responsibility when you're in that kind of situation?
Of course, I feel like whenever football gets hard, because football does get hard, I think about how my mom had to work 2 jobs. I was like, I know she was tired at some point, but she kept going, so why can't I keep going?
What did she do for work?
She's a nurse.
Okay. What did she do? What was the second job she picked up?
She did a in-home nurse, like a call-in nurse.
Okay.
That's a thankless job to do that.
It's hard. Especially with grumpy old men. Sorry, guys. If you're out.
But I'm glad you looked at me.
Sorry.
What was her reaction? Obviously, she knew you were going to go on in the first round, but when it actually happened,
she broke down in tears. She almost got me. She made me shed a tear, but I had to stay strong. I had to suck it back in. Shout out to moms, though.
What was the biggest thing you wanted teams to know during the pre-draft process about what kind of player you were like?
I'm a team-oriented player. I'm willing to do anything to make the team win. I'll come in and work hard. I handle my business. I'm very accountable. I won't give you no off the field problems. I'm very calm and collected guy, cool with everybody. So I feel like they got an all around A+ player.
What did you ask McKinley about? Did you talk to him at all about the Bengals, the pre-draft process, or I guess once you made it official last night, did you kind of pick his brain a little more about what it's like to be here?
No, not really. My phone stopped working last night because there was so many notifications that it kind of froze up on me and I couldn't use it. So I haven't really got around to talk to him yet, but I know we're gonna talk soon.
But you talked to him a little bit before.
Yeah, he loved the program. He loved the atmosphere here. He loves everything about Cincinnati. He loves being a Bengal. So I'm trying to see what he sees. I'm already seeing a little bit of it. I love the atmosphere here already.
You said, did your phone start working again? Has it started working?
Kind of, sort of. It's still kind of laggy.
Okay. How many texts did you end up counting? How many texts you end up getting?
Oh, I'm not counting that. It was I'm not counting that. To everybody's watching, I'll go back and reply to everybody.
There's a lot of questions about the lack of production you had here, and a lot of fans are wondering how that'll translate. What's the biggest thing you can say to folks who wonder about what that production level is going to look like in the NFL for you?
I just want to say, you could look at a stat sheet, but you got to look at the film first. I led my team in pressures. We had that's with us being the best D-line in the SEC, I feel like. Because, people are coming in not trying to throw the ball against us, and me still being able to do that. It's just that I just have to work on my technique on the way to the quarterback. That's just the main thing.
Did you feel that narrative like throughout the draft process? Like, were you getting a lot of questions about it? Now on social media, that kind of thing.
I mean, I try not to pay attention to social media. I mean, because I feel like people try to be football coaches behind the screen. It doesn't work like that. Sorry to tell you, buddy. But, you know, I feel like some teams understood, some teams will have some questions, and, you know, I did handle everything accordingly.
We asked this yesterday, do you recall the combine meeting now, or is it just part of the process?
I promise you, my brain been scrambled. I'm telling you, I had 22 formals, I had like 5 informals, and I had 15, 30 visits. Like, my brain was just all over the place. Please forgive me, guys.
Oh, no, I understood for sure. I think we did too. But when do you remember any details about that now that you can reflect on the Bengals, what they were asking about? Because it doesn't feel concerned about 1.5 seconds.
Oh, I remember, like, I think Coach Montgomery was like, describe yourself to me in 3 words. I was like, fast, physical, high motor. And he was like, Like the whole room just looked around like, okay. I was like, okay, I done cooked up with that one. So, you know, it was good vibes ever since then. Like I said, it took me a while to remember, but it was good vibes at the meeting.
Al Golden last night was telling us that he views you as a chess piece that can be moved all over the defensive chessboard. In terms of your versatility, what can you bring to the defense? Where can you play? What different positions can you play?
Man, I could play anywhere from a tight 5 to a 4 to a 3, and then passing situation, I could play anywhere from a 0 through a 9. I'm just that versatile. I can do everything.
And you did that at A&M.
Yeah.
What do you have about going inside? What do you like about going inside? I mean, I would think the guys aren't very athletic in there when you go inside.
I like going inside because I feel like I move laterally better than some of the interior offensive linemen, and I feel like it'd probably create a disadvantage for them. So I feel like going inside, I just need to hone in on my techniques when I do go inside.
Did you have a lot of knowledge or past experience with Al Golden, and what do you think about playing under him now?
I mean, I heard he was a linebacker coach when he was here, when I went to Super Bowl, and I feel like with him already being to Super Bowl, he's eager to go back. So I'm excited to see what this year brings for us. I'm excited to get in and go to work with him. I'm excited to be a Bengal.
What do you have a favorite pass rush move?
You know me, I'm a power guy, so I'm gonna have to go long arm.
Yeah. What's the key to kind of building off of that? You know, having, you know, given how good offensive tackles are, how much have you kind of picked that brain of folks about how to win and how technical it takes to go out and win consistently on the edge?
You just have to go in there with a plan. Like, you just gotta keep consistent with the move, and then when he least expected him with his fastball or changeup, like you just gotta set him up basically. Like you said, it's playing chess, not checkers.
Just out of curiosity, they talk about Miles a ton at A&M still. I mean, I know it was a little before your time. How much does that come up, and like how much does any teach tape know?
No, like everybody that coached Miles have left and went on to do better things. How y'all doing?
How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great, man. I'm great.
Experience been like, how much sleep did you get last night?
I barely got any sleep last night, actually. You know, but I'm excited to be here.
Shemar, what was your reasoning for wanting to go to the draft? I know that a lot of you guys get the option of where you want to be on draft night. Why did you decide to go Green Bay?
My dad always said, he worked so hard. Why would you not want to go up there and shake his hand? I was like, when you say it like that, I got no choice but to go.
What was that like on stage with fans? I mean, that's a pretty unique thing that a lot of guys don't get.
Man, there's a lot of emotions running wild through my body. You know, it's been a long time coming. Fought through a lot of adversity throughout my football career. You know, just happy I'm up there with there. Just happy I made it.
What's the hardest thing you had to fight through?
You know, just being a rotational guy for most of my college career. You know, fighting through that, and then also just the bumpy rides along the way. You know, I'm not from the best background, like financially, so I know it took a lot of support to get to this point.
What gives you hope
in yourself that your best days are ahead of you at the NFL level?
Because I know what I'm capable of. I feel like I'm very confident in my abilities, and I know I haven't scratched the surface of what I could be.
How do you think maybe the Bengals can bring that out of you?
Man, let's just hit the ground running and go to work.
Who'd you bring with you here today?
My dad and my agents.
It's cool to share that moment with them.
Say it again?
Cool to share that moment with them. Cool to share the
Yeah, of course. Of course.
You talked about your dad a couple of times, I've noticed, in the last 24 hours. What role has he played in getting you to where you are today?
I played a very strong role, taught me how to be a man, taught the people, take care of my business, just go about things the right way. Just a lot of things beyond football he has instilled into me. So, we've been through this whole ride together. I don't think I'd be here without him.
Shemar, how would you describe your game to the average Bengals fan that might not have ever watched you that's watching right now?
Very fast, very violent, and very physical, with a high motor.
Have you had any conversations with players yet at all? Or?
My former teammate, Mac, he talked a lot. I met some guy named Joe in the locker room. He came up to me like, "Hi, my name's Joe. How you doing? I don't know you."
Was that unique for you? I mean, meeting a guy who's been a superstar in the league the last few years?
Yeah, it's actually crazy. Like, seeing people that in person is just way different from seeing them on TV. So it was a cool moment for me.
Did he say anything to you?
He was like, "Happy you're here. Let's go get some sacks."
Coming from Miami and sweaty College Station, now you're going to have some AFC North football. How's that going to be to adjust to that?
Man, I feel like I was just fine. I'm adapted. I did it once. I could do it again. Miami to College Station is like night and day. So I feel like College Station to Cincinnati shouldn't be that hard. So I think I'll be just fine.
What have been the first impressions of Cincinnati, couple hours that you spent here so far?
Man, it's been great. Just been good vibes ever since I got drafted last night. The fans, I got to have a little party in the crowd with some fans. Got here, all the coaches been very nice and very appreciative of me.
Who are your favorite defensive ends in the league?
Favorite right now, TJ, Miles, and Nick, and Trey Hendricks, of course. Shout out to bro.
Do you talk to Miles much? Do you ever come back? Or?
Nah, not really. We haven't talked much.
You held up the jersey, 97.
Yeah.
Is there any thoughts to keep it for?
Yeah, there was thoughts of keeping 4, but we have a tradition here. D linemen don't wear any numbers out of the 90s. So I picked the next best thing, 97. The person that used to wear it, I'm pretty sure y'all know who he is. Very famous around these parts. Has a record with the highest number of Pro Bowls on the defensive side of the ball. So I intend to try to get the same productivity while using the jersey for y'all. Trying to live up to the hype.
Were you aware of Geno?
Of course. Of course.
Different position, but was he a guy that you watched much?
I'm not going to sit here and say I watched him a lot. Growing up, I seen a couple clips, but I didn't really didn't really have TV like that too much to be a consistent watcher of his game.
What are some of the players growing up that maybe you wanted to be like, mold your game after?
JJ and Julius Peppers. Definitely those two. Like, those two was just always jumping off the screen to me.
How do you think Trey can help you?
I'm just going to try to be a fly on the wall. He was a sack leader last year, so obviously he's doing something right. So any little bits and nuggets I could get from him could tremendously help my game.
Did you say you've spoken to him yet?
No.
You plan to?
I hope so. I would like to.
When we saw you at the combine, you had some pretty outrageous athletic numbers. 40-inch vertical, 40 under 4.6. Which of those numbers, of everything you did at the combine, do you think you like best and translates best to you being successful on the field?
Definitely the broad jump. I wasn't expecting the 10-11. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was not expecting the 10-11. It just came out of nowhere that day. My legs wanted to work with me that day, so lucky legs. But I feel like the broad jump really just shows how explosive I could be off the snap of the ball. So I feel like that's probably going to translate more. I mean, 40 is cool and all, but you're not going to run 40 yards every time.
Played in a lot of big-time moments at A&M, SEC ball, big wins for you guys. How does that translate to this next phase of your career?
It's just going to translate just by me just not being, like, just not make the moment bigger than what it is, you know. I've been in big moments before, but the part where people mess up is people treat it bigger than what it actually is. That's when you start getting nervous and start losing your assignment, start doing MA. So just try to go into every game with the same mindset.
Yesterday, Shemar, you mentioned that you thought Dallas might pick you. When they picked Tyler Booker, did you start to get nervous? Did you start to wonder when you were going to come off the board a bit? Was there a moment like that? Not that you were sliding by any means, but.
No. When Dallas picked Tyler, I was very happy for him. You know, that's my dog. I knew him since high school, so I ain't no hater. You know, kudos. Like, I'm happy for him and his family. It was just shock. I was like, okay, I think this is where I'm going for sure. But, you know, everything happens for a reason, and I feel like God put me here for a reason. So.
Talk to any of your teammates at A&M, coaches. What have been the messages from them since you got drafted?
You know, they're all proud of me. They know how much I worked to get to this point. They know how much stuff I fought through. So they're all happy for me.
What's going to be hard for someone in your spot is you don't know where you're going to end up, right, for your first job.
Right.
To be dropped in Cincinnati on a team that expects to go to the playoffs and compete for championships, do you feel lucky that you wound up in a spot like this?
Of course. Look where I'm at. Look at the team I play for. I mean, y'all always competing for Super Bowl every year. Y'all always just right there. So I mean, if y'all pick me at pick number 17 to be that player to get y'all over the hump, so I'm extremely honored for that.
What is it you feel you can do to get the team over that hump?
Just do what my coaches asked me to do. To develop as how they want me to develop and be the best player I could be for my team, for my teammates.
Shemar, sometimes you see when players get drafted and they get that NFL contract, they'll purchase a house or a car or something. Has there been something that you've wanted to do that's been a lifelong dream that you said that if I ever make it to the NFL, I'm going to do this?
Probably buy my mom a house or something. Just take care of my mom. She worked hard. So I think it's time for me to take care of her.
Coming into a team where you know this offseason is going to be spent bolstering the defense and you're on that side of the ball, how do you anticipate being able to make an immediate impact as a rookie?
Just learning from the vet guys, you know, taking advantage of every opportunity I get, you know, just doing my job at the best of my ability. Every time I go in the game, trying not to mess up, because I know I want to be that guy. So basically, that's just coming in and being just the best player I could be for my team.
What have been some of the conversations with Al Golden so far, the defensive coordinator, about, you know, maybe how he plans to use you, about this defense, everything like that?
You know, 4 down front, 5 through 9, you know, attack style, you know, you already know this.
Would you like to compete to be the guy opening day on the edge?
I mean, I'm a competitor. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna sit here and get the starting job, but I'm definitely gonna work towards that. You know, I like to compete. I like healthy competition, so I don't mind competing for that spot.
You reached out to McKinley?
Of course.
Talked. What have those conversations been like, if you can share?
You know, he's happy for me. He's proud of me, and you know, he always says the work's not done yet.